Welcome back. This is another foodie video. A little bit unlike my Nourish playlist. Question: can 3 days of simple starch-based meals reduce bloating and calm inflammation and reset cravings? Yes. For the next 3 days, I'm going to follow a starch-based reset. And it's inspired by the meal plan that I've been following for over 10 years. And that is the Starch Solution. This is a wellness plan. And after this 3-day wellness plan that I put together, you saw it on the thumbnail, I'll share exactly what happened, the good, the surprising, and the incredibly honest. The wellness world, for a long time, has a lot of noise and a lot of confusing information that can be exhausting. And what I'm doing for the next 3 days is just something very simple. With this meal plan, just think of potatoes. I've talked about starch being the star of my plate. I'm focusing on potatoes only for the next 3 days and adding additional whole foods. And this is a reset for me. It's also very much a holistic approach to my health and well-being. This isn't a detox, it's not a crash diet, it's certainly not a punishment. It's just an experiment because I want to demonstrate how my energy, my inflammation, even my cravings, and my overall physical well-being, they're going to change after just 3 days. I just kicked the camera, sorry. Kick the tripod. 3 days of simplifying everything. And the handout, you find it in the description below. I've created a free PDF that's going to show you the basics of what I'm doing. And you can customize this and do this right along with me. It's very simple, very, very basic. And that's the beauty of this. That's something that I found very inspiring and intriguing when I first discovered the Starch Solution. I was confused by it because I thought it was too easy. And I've been astonished at how good I feel. At the top of my handout, I'm focusing on hydration support. Now there's my handout right there. Hydration is crucial. We all know that the majority of our body is made up of water. And if there's anything that you're trying to help your body with, specifically excess weight, or if there's anything going on with achiness, with inflammation, our body needs more fluid. Because whatever your body's hanging on to, we need to flush it with clean water. And the hydration that I'm going to be starting out with, which is often a palate cleanser for me in the morning, is warm lemon water. That's something that I have implemented many times in the past, and honestly it's something that I should make a daily habit, because every time I'm consistent with it, I feel better. It really gives my body it's almost a good morning to my liver. It's really beneficial for my health. Now, for some people who have stomach problems, if it's too acidic, it can be really harmful for especially mature teeth. I always rinse my mouth afterwards, as we all should be cleaning our mouth after we are eating or drinking anything. Bacteria in our mouth loves to have excess stuff to feast on. So yes, there's your dental message for the day. Clean your mouth. The other thing that I'm adding as a hydration support is apple cider vinegar tonics. And apple cider vinegar with the mother. I'll put details in the description below if you're not familiar with the benefits of apple cider vinegar to reduce cravings alone and also help to address inflammation. It's brilliant. Now, I know many people don't like the taste of vinegar. I love vinegar. I eat a lot of vinaigrettes. I have all sorts of vinegar flavorings for condiments. So that's one that may or may not call to you, though I encourage you to give it a try. And a little goes a long way with apple cider vinegar tonics. I'm adding 3 per day. So that's the water that I'm drinking across the course of the day already. I'm simply adding about a half to a full teaspoon of apple cider vinegar to my water as I sip on it. And that is really helpful, especially on a leaning out approach like this, when I'm simply giving my body a break. I'm giving my digestive system a break because I did put on a little bit of excess weight over the winter. I've gone through that pattern in the past, and many of us go through that. In the center of the handout, that's where I finally get to the meal plan. And that is where I'm keeping it very, very simple. Each meal will have potatoes, and I'm eating the same thing for all 3 days because they're meals that I love. I'm not going to get bored with them, and it will be fine. This is going to be on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, busy work days, and I've already batch cooked a bunch of things, so I've got things for a grab and go. It's going to be very simple for me to do this. The breakfast that I'm going to have are my veggie loaded hash browns. I've shown that in videos before. I will put a card or video up here at the end if you want to see how I put those together. And it's an enormous portion. I am not going to be hungry with this meal plan. I will be having my morning coffee. Now, I have detoxed from caffeine completely when I've done a really super clean, focusing on mainly potatoes, and I may do that afterwards. I'm simply going to demonstrate what happens with this plan here and showing that I'm going to be eating plenty of food, though I'm going to be feeling really good, and that's the goal with all of this. Lunch is going to be something really simple, a lemon, garlic, they're roasted Yukon potatoes, and some steamed broccoli. I'll have an apple with me, and that will be a perfect lunch, especially since I work in the field. I have an electric lunch box. It's something that I will just have with me, snack on the apple. And in the evening for my dinner, something that I really love, and it goes along with some of my favorite. If you've watched my Nourish videos, you know that I like appetizer dinners. Things like chips and guacamole. What I'm going to do for this next 3 days is I'm taking a bunch of russet potatoes, cutting them into wedges, putting them in the air fryer, and I'm having fries for dinner, along with a salad, some more steamed vegetables. Then also, you'll see on the handout, I have some optional snacks. Now, the snacks, they're not all food related, because oftentimes when we're hungry, and this, we all know this, when we're hungry, we don't necessarily need food. Our body's asking for something else. If you participated in my mindful eating challenge, when we talked about our cravings, what our emotions are actually telling us, I will refer to my constant cravings A to Z as I go through this, because inevitably, if I have a rough evening or I'm stuck in traffic or whatever, a craving is normal. My body's telling me something, and I'm going to honor that craving. So I wove in some food snacks in here, like berries or a roasted sweet potato, because this, when it's roasted and all ooey and gooey, it tastes like a piece of cake to me. And I'll also have things like a foot massage or a face massage or going for a nature walk. It's still ridiculously sunny and way too warm for February here in the city of Salt, but I can do all sorts of things, an Epsom salt soak, to nourish my body in ways that aren't food-based. That's part of this challenge as well. And I've got, a section for notes at the bottom. It's a very simple follow along, and I will be charting my starting weight, starting measurements maybe. I tune into my body. And and a lot of times when we put on, whether it's, a couple of pounds, 3 pounds, 5 pounds, right now, I would really like to get rid of 5 pounds. Now, will that happen in 3 days? Most likely not, though it'll give me a great jump start. And maybe after this 3 days, I'll just decide to keep on going 3 more days. And that would be completely okay with me, because if you've seen some of my grocery haul videos, I buy a lot of potatoes, and having potatoes every day is great. It's so helpful for me, and it's nourishing. And as I said, this isn't a crash diet. This isn't a punishment. It's a way for me to give myself a break from processed foods and really allow my digestive system to absorb well and to not be overwhelmed. Because I am a mature adult and because I have chronic conditions, putting more pressure on my body, it shows up in a number of ways. And the little bit of excess weight I've talked about before, 5 pounds. I taught classes for the Arthritis Foundation and self-help and fall prevention courses for senior centers. And I learned, and this even came from my surgeon when I received my dual hip replacements, that 5 pounds of excess weight, that means the weight that we don't need, the excess weight that shouldn't be on our frame, our size of body, that can place up to 20 to 25 pounds of pressure on our joints. And for an older adult who has arthritis and artificial hips, then that it honestly can be incredibly detrimental, if not deadly, because if I lose my balance and have a bad fall, we know those stories. We know that the rates for hip fracture increase as women get older. So investing in my health, investing in my body, that's a way for me to invest in my future. And if you don't know me, if this is the first time you've ever watched, welcome. My name's Tiffany. I'm the founder of Anderson Therapeutics. I'm a health educator, patient advocate, wellness coach, alternative healthcare provider, and my Aging Well channel is all about my holistic approach to aging well. Check out those free PDFs, all the information in the description below. Please give this a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and check back. I will show you what happens and follow along. I invite you to join me. Dine well to age well. Bye.